Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fumble Brothers podcast, the Fumblecast, if you will. It's a conversational podcast where we fumble through everything from movies, anime, video games, comic books, and, if we're feeling especially argumentative, music. I am the Little Otter.
And I am Quirky Turtle.
All right, and watch us fumble through this one. All right, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
Yeah. So,
Moving on.
yeah, this week we thought, I've never played this series of games, but it does interest me quite a lot, and it's the Soulsborne games, which you've played quite a lot of.
Yeah, I've spent years of my life on these games.
Very good. Do you have a favorite?
Dark Souls 1
Dark Souls
will
3?
forever hold a special place in my heart.
Did you just play that one first, or the most, or...
That's the one that took me the longest to beat. I spent a year playing this game, and I couldn't beat this boss. So I quit playing.
Right.
And I came back at it 2 years later. I finally beat that boss just to realize that it was only the fourth one, and there's 8 or 9. Yeah.
Which one couldn't you beat?
The Capros Demon, I think,
Oh, that
is
one's...
what the name of it was.
Oh, man, that one is really early in the game.
Yeah, it's the third one.
Man, I
It
thought
might
it was...
even be the second one. I think it goes Tauros Demon.
Yeah, that's the one on the bridge.
Yes.
And
It's been
then...
so long since I played this game. And then I think you can do the gargoyles pretty early.
Isn't there... I thought it was going to be you were going to say, oh, it's the tree. Because that's a big one. That's, notoriously hard to beat because it's broken.
The tree? Oh no, I had no problems with that, dude.
Oh my god, that's spicy. You
Right?
think you just
It confuses me to this day. But yeah, the Capros Demon kept me from progressing for a while. I remember just getting very upset and then moving on.
Right.
And then everything changed because I went a different path down toward the forest, and I ended up getting a Black Knight halberd, which is, in my opinion, the best weapon in the entire game. I don't care who you are, that weapon is amazing. I maxed it out level wise, and I crushed the whole game.
That's one thing that's a very appealing to people. There's so many ways to play it. There's no you learn and you, as they say, get good in different ways. So there's really no wrong way to play it, so long as you're
Absolutely,
learning.
man. One of my favorite play styles. I never really I didn't beat the game with it, but it was a dexterous mage. Some magic, more dex,
Right.
So you can run in, pull a minion, duck around the corner, let him get back through here, dance around this guy, just bleed damage him to death. And bleed damage was incredible in that game.
Yeah, it takes one thing I've noticed that a common complaint is how much time it takes, and it does take a lot of time to beat the bosses because it's you slow, you learn the attack pattern, you dance around, you learn
Yep.
to tank a lot of damage, but it does take time.
Well, one of the big things is you have to stay paying attention to these games. If you lose focus, even for a second, any exploit you give this NPC, he will kill you.
Yeah, it's a it is not idle gameplay.
Absolutely not. Oh no. The only thing I wish that they would do to those games, and this is my only complaint, is there is no co-op version. As an experienced player of that game, I would love it if I could get someone like you or my friend Mr. Ribbit and just go with you through this game and just show you the chaos that is Dark Souls.
Isn't there a thing you can temporarily bring someone into your world? You just have to keep putting sigils
Yep.
down so you can place certain areas together?
Yep. You there's covenants you can join. My favorite is Sunbro.
Solaire, yeah.
Yeah. Solaris Covenant. I'm a member of the Sun Bros. Okay, don't judge me.
Why would I
But
judge you?
I don't know. But yeah, you can put your name down near a bonfire and be summoned in.
So there
But if you
is
go through like a fog wall or anything like that. Unless it's a
Yeah,
boss's fog wall, I can't follow you there. You'll have to
right.
resummon me.
Which is it's annoying, but
Yeah. I think they do it honestly is because the game is meant to be challenging.
you
Like, and if
think?
you have someone running through with you, it'll be less that, which I can get, but I still really want to be able to take somebody and just show them this whole world.
Yeah, it's definitely their whole thing is like is the whole get good. It's meant to be challenging. These are not games for casual gamers. This is
Oh,
you better be
no.
willing to invest or you are going to get screwed.
Like, I've been playing this game for years, man. Like, and I still have struggled really hard with the parry system. It's really hard for me. And Sekiro, the game that they came out with not too long ago, their whole riposte system really messes with me.
Yeah,
Most of the combat in that game is parry based.
I've not really watched much. Like I've watched some gameplay for like the Souls games. I've watched like someone play a lot of Bloodborne. Sekiro just does not appeal to me. Like even like watching it, it's just like that version of the Souls game. I know it is like in that thing, and there's like some really cool like Japanese style like creatures and stuff, and like it's a really cool lore. I just cannot get into it.
Yeah, that's why I had to quit. I had to quit playing it on my channel. I went from like getting, I'm gonna say a number here, and people listening to this are gonna make fun of me, but I was going from getting like 5 to 8 views on my videos, went down straight to one. And my last Sekiro video, I think, didn't get any views.
What? Because you just kept like you kept not progressing, I guess.
Oh no, I was crushing that game. I loved the game. The game is awesome. I could actually play that right now. But I don't know. It's just not a game people seem to want to watch.
Yeah, like I feel like that's its downfall. It's a good game, but I think people went into it with like Bloodborne and Dark Souls and Demon Souls in their minds,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
can
not.
easily
It's its own incarnation. It's its own
definitely.
brand. Like I watch a guy called he's part of a different channel, but he loves the Souls games. And like he's the guy I watched play through Bloodborne like from start to finish. Like he
Nice.
streamed it. And he tried Sekiro and he could not get into it. He's like it does not feel the same.
It really doesn't. Like, I completely understand where that guy is coming from. It really does not feel like the same game.
Like what in like I've like I'm gonna disclaim right now. Like I've said before, I've not played any of these games. I only know like lore based stuff, and I've watched gameplay. So like Quirkster over here is the gameplay guy. I'm like invested in the lore guy,
Yeah, I
especially
didn't do any
Bloodborne.
research on the games, so I just hop in.
Yeah, especially Bloodborne. That's my favorite lore wise because I'm. But we'll go into that a little later in the podcast. What to you feels the different about Sekiro? What makes it not feel like a
It's the whole
Soulsborne
the
game?
whole style of it,
Right.
for real. Like, dodge rolls are a big thing in the Souls games. Like, you roll out of the way, duck and cover real quick, and you just kind of have this jump to the side thing that takes a minute to get used to. Then the enemies, like, they're kind of similar in a way to like the Dark Souls enemies, but it's like the AI for the NPCs. Like, it isn't to get the upper hand on you; it's just to attack you.
So it's not as advanced, do you think?
It's not that it's not as advanced. It's like they wanted the story to be more important than the combat, and that's a very important thing for a Souls game.
So whereas like the story is like very, 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 very obscure in
In Dark Souls and stuff like that. Like,
right.
in those situations, it becomes like super important to like get powerful enough to battle your way to the next spot to get a hint on what's happening.
Right.
And in Sekiro, it's just like, okay, so here's the storyline, here's some killer combat, um, have fun, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
It's still a good game. I bought it. I do not regret that investment in the slightest.
Yeah, but it
It's
just
just not the
definitely
same.
right. But you also have like I think we've covered Sekiro pretty good. Like what maybe we'll bounce back to it. I don't know. I'm very new to this. I'm just trying to just talk. So sorry guys. I'm so sorry.
Right, dude. It's totally okay. Like there are people probably like listening to my opinion on Sekiro and calling me a freaking moron. So it's okay.
Like that's the thing. Like the one thing I don't like about these games is the level of gatekeeping to get into them. Like it's like, oh, I'm struggling with this. Just get good, man. It's like,
Yeah, you
thanks.
just gotta get good.
It's like, any tips? No, you're just gonna sneer at me? Okay, thanks.
You need to dodge. Practice
So
by dodging wrenches.
So like, yeah, that's what annoys me. Like how people, it's just like it's a game, guys. It's a good game. They're challenging games, and they're definitely, in my opinion, upper tier when it comes to like, yes, you are good if you can play these games. But have fun. Don't gatekeep. Be nice. Like we can be a community that's good at this and still be nice. So the
I agree. We should absolutely be focusing on good times. Good times.
Yeah. Like you've had a lot of fun with these. Like and like you seem to not have that like get good mentality. You're like, no, let me show you, which I think I wish more people had. I really do.
Oh yeah, dude. The game is so incredible. It really is. And once you understand what's happening, it's so much more fun. I've never had like a series of games make me want to murder a boss so much. Like honestly, you can play the games and normally you play games and you go up against the bosses, and they're fun, they're a good time, blah blah blah. But in Dark Souls, you develop hatred for these things that I cannot explain to you. You have to go and play it.
Yeah, it's like
Killing them is so satisfying.
I've heard that so many times. Like a streamer I watch called Don't Rage Quit,
Yeah,
she
yeah. If you
has
can get
said,
through it.
yes, like she's like the feeling you get when you finally just crush this boss and you're like, I just obliterated this dragon. I did it. It's like she talks about the feeling and she's like, I can't explain it either. So yeah, this is not the first time I've heard this. And it's very
It's
interesting
very
that
hard to explain.
it's very interesting that a game can like convey something so similar no matter who is playing it. Like I can't describe this feeling. You have to feel it for yourself.
I'll tell you, like, sort of what it is. It's because you earned that. Like, you fought that battle, you grinded that out, and you won. And there's nothing better than that.
So I there's a question about like you said Dark Souls 1 is your favorite.
Yes.
There is a boss in there in the painted world
Yes.
that do you fight her or do you not? Like what's your thing or does it like vary from time to time?
It definitely varies. Like, character to character basis, for real. She gives you a really nice weapon. It's like life scythe or something like that. You have
Yeah.
to have like certain requirements, otherwise it kills you. So if you're playing a magic build that meets those requirements, then you're going to be fine. That's your weapon. You kill her on the spot. Chop her tail right off.
Oh.
Otherwise, yeah, just leave. Otherwise, just leave.
Yeah, cuz like there's no need to fight. That's interesting. Like that's one of the main things that hooked me about it. Like what other game is gives you the option like it puts a very powerful boss in your way and then allows you to walk around them?
Like
What other
some
game
bosses,
does
yeah.
that?
None that I can think of. I mean, there's always optional bosses, but like the gargoyles, they're technically optional. I'm pretty sure you can run right by those and get up into the tower, ring the bell.
And then like the interesting way like each one has a pattern, each one has a strat. Like what is it? What's it's ceaseless discharge in that game.
Which one was that?
The big lava guy that's just like that you have to
Oh
run
yeah.
back to the start and then he falls off.
Yep. I see. I didn't even know that. I grinded that out.
So he is killable other ways.
Yeah, he slams his fist down, and you have like
Ah.
time for two smacks.
Oh my god. That's it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then I shot him with a bow a bunch of times, and then he would slam his fist down. I would run up and I would smack him two times, and then I have to run back around the corner because he would blast at me with fire.
I guess they're counting on you being like, okay, I gotta leave, and then like running towards the exit, him chasing you, and then you seeing like, oh, he fell.
And the second time that I played that game, I figured that out
Like,
because I was playing a Dex build, like my second one,
right?
and they can't take damage like at all. The way you have to set those guys up is like they can't tank damage at all.
Yeah, because they have like nothing in defense. They're just all movement.
Yes. If you can't dance, you gotta run. So I took off like as fast as I could, trying to figure out some kind of plan to get through this guy. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I hit the fog wall, and I was like, "Oh crap! It is over. It's done. What am I going to do?" And he just came at me, and I was like, "Well, here we go. I guess I'll try to figure this out next time." And he just kind of falls off.
Could you describe that moment? Like he lands, like his fist comes within inches of you, as it does. I've seen the cutscene so many times, and then he just falls. What was your reaction to that? Like, what in the world did you do? I bet you were like wetting yourself.
It's like that moment of what the heck is this? What'd you just do to me? Like you can't tell if you got cheated or if this is how it's supposed to be at first.
Right.
I Googled it immediately, and it turned out I was an idiot for so long.
It's like one of the hardest slash easiest bosses in Dark Souls because you can choose to either tank him or cheese him.
If you're gonna go to the tank route, or like maybe one or two listeners, I definitely hope you choose the knight. Great defense, fantastic health, their vitality build. They're awesome.
Pro strats from Q Turtle 2020.
That's right, pro strats. I'm not a pro at anything but pro strats. Yeah.
So now I've been like stalling. I'm not gonna lie. I've been like trying to shy away from this realm of the sphere because I knew I could go on about it, and I wanted to get as much about the others out of the way as possible. Not out of the way. That's the wrong way to put it.
Right now?
Huh?
Are we about to Bloodborne it out right now?
Yes.
Let's go.
Like I wanted to leave as much room for like other gameplay to where this didn't devolve into the Bloodborne hour. Because I've never played the game, but I am so invested in the lore of Bloodborne that it's like I know so much, and it's like it's my favorite. Just not having played it, but like it's the coolest. Like it has the most interest to me. So
it definitely has a lot of to it, you know?
it's like, excuse me?
You want me to do what to this boss? Pardon me? Pardon moi?
It's like that because it borrows, like obviously the other ones take a lot of inspiration from like mythology.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it takes a lot of inspiration from the world of H.P. Lovecraft, which I'm a very big fan of. I love Lovecraft. I don't like his racism or sexism. I'm going to be very clear, but he does tell a good story, and he did create a very powerful world of like elder beings, which is where it derives. To where these are not like spirits or anything. These are extra-dimensional, unknowable, unseeable beings that
incomprehensible
yes.
to mortal minds. Like, yeah.
But they are physical. Like, they bleed. They can die. Which is very, very interesting to me. They're physical beings, but they are still deities in their complexity, in their unknowableness. So, like, as soon as I saw that and how much it pulled from it, oh God, I dived in. I dived in so hard. I was lapping it up with like a spoon, just give me it all.
See, I I got stuck. Like even to this day, I still have problems with this boss. Like it's this poison boss.
Poison boss. Which one is that?
It's like the third or fourth boss. I cannot remember.
God, I
But
know
it,
so much about this. Why can't I remember which one is poison? Like each one of them has like its own unique effect.
yeah, and this guy is definitely like poison, or it might be like toxic. I don't know. But you have to gun parry him or her. It might be her. I can't remember. Anyway, you have to gun parry this thing,
Right.
and in order to gun parry him, you have to wait for the exact moment right before you get smacked. Fire that round and get ready to start swinging.
Yeah, you
So
have to
you have
stun
to be
them from
committed.
close range.
Yeah. You have to commit. Be willing to accept the hit if you mess it up because you have to commit.
That's one thing I've noticed, like from people talking about it. That's really where it differs from this, like Dark Souls, because like you got to kind of be willing to dance in Dark Souls. You've got to be a little
Yes.
less aggressive. But in Bloodborne, it shifts it slightly to where you have to be the aggressor. You have to wait, but you still have to be the aggressor, or you're going to lose the fight.
Every time. Every single time.
So, oh man, like I'm
There's really no getting around it.
especially like I learned that the final boss, well, possibly the final boss, depending on what you do, is what's his name? The guy that's in the Hunter's Dream, Gearman, Gearman, something like that.
Yeah, Garmin.
You have to be the aggressor in that fight. You cannot let him own that fight, or he will own you so quickly.
Every single time.
Like the guy that I was watching play it, like he tried keeping his distance for a while, and he was losing. That guy was smacking him with advanced plays and like gun parrying him because he's a hunter.
Yep. See, I never even got to that point, but I can already tell you that that's exactly how it is.
See the oh man, like what's also cool is like for those, I'm not going to go too much into it, but just so you guys know, like my parents, they have their own ideas on things, which is why I would really struggle to play like Dark Souls. But like what's interesting about like Bloodborne is because like I could play this because they aren't demons. They are basically like otherworld creatures. They're basically aliens, and like all these other like really weird, messed up looking things are mutated people, right down to the bosses. So,
Some of the bosses.
well,
See,
obviously some of them are like the actual creatures, but
they're so much fun. You would have so much fun on those games. Anyone would. As long as you're willing to put the time in to like, as, just not to be totally basic, but to get good.
yeah.
You'll have a lot of fun on any of these games. Like he's bringing up, they have amazing stories. They have amazing lore, and you unlock bits and pieces of it throughout the game, but you're never going to fully understand what's happening unless you research it.
Which I have. And
Yeah.
not everything's understood. It's like
Oh, I mean, good lord. That's a lot of information to try to process, man.
even those that like he is literally a lore channel, and like it's like not everything has been revealed yet. That's why
I
everyone
believe
was
that.
chomping at the bit to be like for like the old Hunters DLC in Bloodborne, which is old. I know that, guys, but like everyone was foaming at the mouth for it because it's like, okay, new stuff. Like what is in here? And lo and behold,
Right.
another big nod to like. Do you know anything about the old Hunters DLC? Like, do you know anything that's in it?
Never played it. I still haven't beat Bloodborne.
Oh, you don't have to. Like
Yeah.
you
No,
don't
I
have
mean,
to.
like, yeah, I never got a chance to, like, fully dive on into Bloodborne. Not like I have Dark Souls,
Right.
because I love Dark Souls. Yeah.
But
But
like,
I have played some of it, like, but no, I never really looked into, like, the DLCs for it or anything like that. Because, that's
go ahead.
cost
Sorry,
money.
sorry. I'm getting, I'm getting the fever, man. I'm like
Go
going
ahead, go
too
ahead, go
too aggressively. But like, there is a hunter there. Like you go into basically the afterworld, like the afterlife for the hunters.
Oh yeah, the Hunter's Dream.
Like past that, like
Oh.
even after the hunters die, like this creature takes you as part of the DLC. Like it grabs you and it takes you to where basically the spirits of all hunters go. So there are a ton of old hunters. Like they have different gear. They have different weapons that you would never get now. And like if you look into the lore, like you'll see like little subtle nods to like this one used a giant wheel or this one used this, and like all of a sudden you'll just see like guy walking down the street and it's like, wait, isn't that the weapon that it was talking about in this paragraph of this? And like, so there's like nods to the lore and there's like different weapons, like I said, that you'll never get anywhere else. And some of the bosses aren't these creatures, they are hunters that are like close to Gehrman levels of difficult. One of them is Gehrman's apprentice. At least that's what people think.
Why is his
Possibly
fighting style the same?
it looks A, it looks the same as the doll. B, the voice is like pretty similar. And like there's things she says. There was something about a quote that like and like after you beat her, the doll has like this awakening and it's like I felt something. So it's almost like Gehrman after his apprentice died and moved on, almost like he felt like guilty or something, or like he missed her. So he created the doll to like embody
Oh,
her, which is weird
oh.
and sweet all at the same time. Like it's hecka weird.
He offers that doll to you, however it may please you.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
So he really doesn't care about that doll too much, you know?
I mean, I think like after he's gotten so bitter to where it's like I don't care anymore.
That's
But
good. That's
once you
good.
beat her, like I've rambled about her so much, but after you get past her, there's a section behind her that's like ocean, and within it, there's like this village of fish people that you don't have to fight all of them. They're just like roaming around and they're like muttering and it talks about like you find out just how heinous like the blood churches were. Like they came here basically I don't remember everything about it and it's like super unclear like what exactly the church did to them, but
And it's always a
it's
church.
it's it's messed up. It's so bad. And like
It's
you don't
always a
have to
church.
attack these people. Like that's the big thing. Like you think, "Oh, fish monster. I need to kill them." You don't need to kill them. And it's a nod to like a town full of fish people and stuff is a direct like nod to the book by H.P. Lovecraft, Shadow over Innsmouth. So, oh my god, that is so cool. It was just so interesting to see that.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I have a whole new respect for the game. I might play it again. I don't know.
And
Maybe
then you
make a
go
video about it.
to oh god, there's and then you go behind that village and you go to I think like the child or something like that, and it's a creature that literally crawls out of the belly of its dead creature, like mother essentially, and it's an old one that the church killed, and it comes out and it fights with its fecking placenta, and it is
Of course it does.
gross. It's so gross, but it's like
Like, how can we make this fight as messed up as humanly possible?
it's
We'll
like
make it a baby and have it fight with its own sack.
it's like screaming and like lunging around, and it's like I think the moon child or something like that. Oh god, you feel kind of bad because basically this child has been dormant and like its mother was killed by like these people, like it just wanted to be left alone. Like these creatures may like it's pretty clear some of them have like some ill intent towards us, but some just exist and they're like Koss, the great Koss spider. His whole deal, or she, I think, is it a she or is it, I don't know, Its whole deal is keeping the balance. Like, yes, it's one of these creatures, one of these old ones, but it's trying to keep everyone from going insane by keeping a barrier between what's actually happening and what we can understand and perceive. So not all of them are necessarily quote unquote evil.
So hold on. So she's trying to make it to where we can't see that stuff, so we don't go crazy.
Yes, that is her role. She can't take it away. But what she can do is, like, after you beat her, the sky goes
Yeah.
red. And, like, everything becomes more manifest and more clear. And it's at that moment you realize, oh my god, I've just killed the only thing keeping the true horror of the situation at bay. She was good.
Well, I guess it's time to sack up then and go in there and take care of it.
It's like, oh god. So it's it's
Stupid.
a it's a crazy game. It's insane. I
It
love it.
is. I
It's
do as well.
messed up.
I'm a big old fan of these games. Big old fan.
It's just so messed up. Especially Bloodborne. I feel like Bloodborne, it's like how much gore and twisted and weird and just like you look into the lore of the college and they're like surgically implanting eyes inside their skulls and it's like,
What?
excuse me, what? Because they thought like eyes were like if you look at insight, it's an eye, and they thought like the more eyes they had, the more connected they would be to the world of the great ones, and the closer they would be to communing with these beings. So they implanted eyes all over their fecking heads, inside their skulls, and all over their bodies.
That is really gross.
Yes, yes, it is. It's amazing, isn't it?
Eyeballs are terrifying.
That's why there's eyes. Like when you go into the dreamscape, there's eyeballs everywhere.
Yeah.
That's why. Because the eyes are the connection to everything, or so they thought.
See, a bunch of people messing with stuff they don't quite understand.
It's so unclear who was right in this situation because if you that one cutscene from the college, the guy that's like the head of the college, he
Yeah.
says the guy that left the college in that scene started the blood churches, like the healing churches of the blood. He says to that guy, Lawrence, I think his name was, fear the old blood. So they knew, the college knew, like, yes, it had this potential, and yes, they wanted to use it to commune with these things, but they knew it was very dangerous, it would cause problems, and they needed to be wary of how it was used and contain it.
But they didn't.
They couldn't. Like the guy left the college, started the church, and the college was like, okay, you know what? Like he stole some of the blood.
Oh god.
So it's
Green, green humans.
and then he went and got his own. So like the college had their supply, he took some, and like then with the once he had like the organization of like the healing church like in place, he went into the deep parts under Yarnum. I think that's his name. I think that's the name of the country, right? Something with a Y.
Yarnum? Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
He knew that there were beings and like traces of these old ones beneath Yarnum. And he went there after he left the college. Like that's part of the lore. Like part of what he had was what he got once he left. So like there was nothing the college could do. It was strictly those that left and like wanted to make a name for Yarnum through the healing church of the blood.
Huh. The more you know. That's some very interesting stuff right there.
Yeah, like the lore of Bloodborne is incredible. Like it's amazing. There's so many characters and like so many just offshoots, and they're probably sick of hearing me talk, honestly.
Shh, I don't care about them. I'm
As are
not.
you.
Keep going. Tell me what's going on here, man.
Well, unfortunately we have been talking for almost 40 minutes, so it's time to wrap up this one. So, what do you think? Next podcast, do you want to continue like talking about the lore of Bloodborne a bit more?
I mean, yeah, we can have a couple of episodes of Bloodborne.
All
I can
right,
see why
guys.
not.
There you go. Like you know what to expect. If you like this and you want to keep talking about that, hey, tune in.
Definitely tune in. We have good times here. I don't care what anyone says.
Okay. So, guys, that is the end of this one. And I didn't mean to cut you off. Oh man, I just sounded so rude there. Like, okay, shut up. That's not how I meant it. That's not how I meant it.
It's not how I took it either. For
Okay,
crying out
good.
loud.
That's the end of this one, guys. We do have a lot of fun. I hope you're enjoying this. Definitely jump in with your own Bloodborne and Soulsborne lore. We want to hear it. We want to hear your theories. We love these games. And definitely let us know also if you would like to see my first experience playing these games, because I'd love to play them. So we're going to wrap
Okay.
it up
See,
here.
yes, we are.
And remember, it's okay to fumble so long as you always pick up the ball. Never give up, guys.
That's
Bye.
right. Later, y'all.